what we need now is to go to this folder, and when you get there it will look something like this. You can see this address is completely different and it took me forever to find this address. Anyway, what we want is this thing, the raw data zip. You should be able to get in, you should come straight to this SBG051 folder and this zip. We can then copy that, so we'll take copy, and now we want to go to our H document. We go to SBG051 there, and then we can right click and then we'll paste that in. So this is a reasonably large file, which is why it's not actually stored on Canvas. It would have been more convenient to have it on Canvas, but we have an upper limit really on how much we can store there, and so this is instead stored here. We're not done yet. What we need to do now is right click on this, and then we go to 7-zip, and then we're going to extract the files. We'll do this backup file ... and it says yeah, okay, that all looks good. Click on OK, and this will then unpack. This is going to take a while, probably. In fact, it will take a while. So I think what I'll do is spare you the tedium of watching this unpack, and we'll fast forward through all of this. So see you in a minute. And we're done any second now. There we go. So now that that's finished unpacking, we can get rid of that. So right click on the zip file, and we can just delete it, get rid of it. It's taking up space. So now we just have this folder here. So we are done with that part. We've created our zip folder, our raw data folder, which is here. We can go in and look at the details of it. Looks like this. There's a little README file here, which you can click on and read it. This is actually written in Markdown, which is a language very, very, very simple text language that I can then translate into a Word document or HTML in this case. I warmly recommend Markdown, but you do not have to use it at all. But it is a text file, as we can see here, and it will give you a description. This explains the contents of the folders and what's in there. So it's just a matter of simply clicking on it. There is here a project file for QGIS. If you wish, you can click on this. If you see that this the icon here looks something like this in this green color, and the operating system recognizes that this is a QGIS project, if you click on it, it will open and show the data. I like QGIS, but on this course we're actually going to be using a different GIS program called ArcGIS Pro, created by a company called S3. So this is just our raw data folder. We can click on some of these folders and look in here. See, that one's empty, nothing in it, because you will be downloading data later on for the ESA, for the European Space Agency. SCB, also empty. You will very soon be downloading data from Statistics Sweden and putting it in there. We have this get folder, and here we have most of our data. So we have an orthophoto in RGB, true color, an orthophoto in IRF, infrared, plus red and green. And then we have some elevation data, the height data, plus the property map. We'll get back to those later. So now, if we return to the instructions, the next step is to open ArcGIS Pro. How do we do that? So let's minimize these instructions. And if we go to Programs here, this is one way of doing it. You can also click here and look for the program. We have ArcGIS listed here. It will be under S3, I believe, here. But another way of doing it directly from the desktop is to just click on the Programs folder here. Opens up a whole suite of different programs you can access. We go into Geomatics. ArcGIS is up here. You can see this one is interesting, Google Earth Pro. We'll come back to that in the later part of this exercise. Here we have QGIS as well, but we want ArcGIS. And ArcGIS Pro is up here. Here we have other ArcGIS programs or Arc programs. We'll go to ArcGIS Pro, and there we have Pro, and we just click on that to start the program. Now, hopefully this will start reasonably quickly. There are no guarantees for that, but it can take a few seconds, but this was pretty quick. Now, when you sign in, you're not going to get these projects up here because you haven't created them. I've been in here and messed around a bit, so ignore these. But once you have been into this desktop environment previously, you will start seeing your projects listed here. So let's go back to the instructions, and we can read here. Again, here's another one of these little blue stars. We can click on that to find out a little bit more information. But what we want to do is create our new project, and we're going to call it Exercise 1. And we'll look at the contents of the project from there. So if we go back to here, and we want to create a project. So if we click on map there, and it's pointing, first of all, the name is not right. We want to change that name. Let's change that to Exercise 1. No spaces, no strange letters. You can call this Ovning 1 or whichever you prefer, not Ovning, because that will be an error and we don't want that. And the location is not right. We don't want it there. We are going to be in control. We're not going to let the computer tell us what to do. So we click on that, and we need to get to our Homes folder. And at the moment, that's not terribly visible. So we click there, click on Homes, and then we want to look for Document. Click there, and then we want the folder for this course, SBG051, as it is. And we're going to create the project in that folder. So it's going to create it directly. This project is going to be created in the SBG051 folder, and it's going to be called Exercise 1. And here we have the tick mark for create a new folder for this project. This is why we didn't need to create our edit folder, because the ArcGIS Pro is going to do that for us. So we can then click on OK and give it a couple of seconds. And what it's doing now is creating a nice interface for you to work with. According to it, it's nice anyway. And it will contain a couple of maps, data that it's downloading, covering our local area. We don't need these. We're not really going to want them. I suggest that, we can turn them off and keep them still in the project. We can turn them off by clicking here, turn them on again, or if we right click on them, we can just click on remove and remove. So then they're gone. This is our map. It's an unfortunate use of the word. Many people would disagree with it being a map. It looks kind of, we'll call it a map as a convenience in this tab here, in this main pane. And here we have a list of layers that are in the map. At the moment, we don't have any in the map.